In today's video, I'm going to give you my final thoughts on the Cemreo Phantom BFS reel. Now, the only real problem I had with the reel during the unboxing was that it had bushings instead of bearings in the handle knobs, and there was a bit of play in the knobs. Unfortunately, these knobs are riveted, so if you want to make it perfect, you'll have to swap out the handle. Anyway, let's hit the water and use it in its stock form. Move around here. I'm testing this reel on the 8'2" Surinoya Elf Eging, a rod I haven't used in a while but wanted to revisit the rod and just get a feeling for what it was like again. I must say, I really highly rate this rod. For reference, I'm throwing a 1/8 ounce jig head and a 2.5 inch soft plastic swim bait here, as the water is reasonably deep under the bridge. According to Google Maps, it's 20 meters from the edge to edge here, which is 22 yards or 66 feet. I was able to cast right up to the edge of the wall, one-handed casting, which isn't an amazing feat by any means, but when casting upriver, I think I was able to get close to 30 meters. I think I'm going to use this spot in the future to benchmark casting distance. Now, I would say the ease of casting and breaking is pretty good, although I usually had the breaks between 14 and 16 out of 20. I'm going to try and add some 0.5mm magnets to try and bring the breaking sweet spot closer to the middle, but I think in general it's adequately braked. When fishing the reel, I've got to admit I didn't really notice the handle knob movement, maybe because of the knob material. It's not so obvious compared to the High Star GRU. The amount of play on it seems more or less the same, but maybe because of the bushings on the knob material, it seems to dampen the feeling. Alright, now let's see if we can land a fish. Yep, I'm on. Looks like a salmon. Wow. Yeah. That's surprising. Now, I got my first Australian salmon in this spot, fairly far upstream to what I was expecting, but I guess at this time of the year, the water's getting too warm for the brown trout. He had a bit of girth on him too, so safe to say he's pretty well fed. Oh yeah, got one. Oh yes. Beautiful. I don't know if that's a bass or an estuary perch, but yeah, sweet. You're a feisty guy. Off you go. Okay, so here are my final thoughts on the reel. Before that, I'd love you to leave a like and a comment on what products you'd like to see featured, what rods and reels you think are underappreciated, and what deserves to be spotlighted. Now, I would say the overall build quality is definitely a pass considering its price point. The handle isn't the best, but it's definitely passable, especially for an entry-level BFS angler. The braking isn't perfect, a little bit on the weak side,
but I don't see why you couldn't cast 2 to 8 grams with this reel without any issues. I never tested under 2 grams, despite the lightweight spool. I have a hard time believing it will cast under 2 grams well out of the box. The drag and the drag clicker is solid. I would say the smoothness also is passable. Definitely not great, but certainly not bad. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend this reel as a lighter alternative to the current king of the Ultra BFS sector, the Caesar Cast X. Where the Cast X shines is that it's a bit smoother, has dual spools, and non-riveted handle knobs, which means you can swap the handle knobs and the bearings as you wish. But considering how cheap this reel is, I think it's got to be the best reel out of the many that have come and gone in the sub $20 US price bracket. In the next video, we're going to be doing an on the water test of the High Star Butterfly BFS rod, so hope to see you there. Anyways, thanks for watching.